Real 16 TV. It's Cuz OP here, back with another reaction. This time I'm reacting to DJ Academics blames Vlad for Marlon Wayne's asking for $40K for Vlad TV interview. I wonder why he blames Vlad specifically for that, but we're going to start the screen recording in 3, 2, 1, video playing now.
Well, you have always been the magnet for beef in our world, but recently,
it's you and Elliot Wilson, man. The OGs is scrapping.
I'm starting to hold the crowd a little bit, and just today, me and Marlon Wayne's has spilled into the
I ain't gonna lie, he sounds like somebody I know right now.
Well, it started like this. I've always had a lot of respect for Marlon. I think he's a dope actor and comedian. We've, DM'd each other from here and there. I had
an interview, didn't you?
Well, a long time ago, I was at a press junket he was doing a movie. I forgot which movie it was, and we did a little short interview. We never actually did a real sit down.
Okay.
Right? But I remember
he explained he explained
really
how he knew Tupac when he was young, and people that he was friends with, different stuff like that. Like he in an old, I forgot. He had like an old picture. I had to look it up.
So
I forgot.
I was like, yo, let's do an interview. And this woman emailed my assistant, and I'm like, does this person represent you? He said, yeah. So we're like, okay, cool. What's
you gotta make sure after that boss man deal thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll talk to you about that too. I'll get into that afterwards. But so he's like,
at least they're on like a professional level of cool now. Back in the day, Academics used to be like just a guy he was interviewing too, but now it's like on a professional level, they cool.
Yeah, this is the person to negotiate with. I said, okay, cool, it's legit. She came back with $40,000 plus 30% of all future revenue.
Okay. Now,
once again, I said this already in the video, but that's obviously just a drastic way of saying no. Like I said, I think it possibly might be a race thing because of who we talking about, Marlon Wayne. He might just be like, let me push harder for black people. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make my price so high that like he can only work with us if he pay. I don't know. I'm sure there's some drastic reason. We're talking about Marlon Wayans. We're not talking about like no disrespect to anybody else, but we're not talking about anybody else. But I feel like if I give an example, it'd be disrespectful. And I just woke up. I'm sorry.
You see what happened in the interview world? I think you set the precedent, which is great. Like I think artists like Boosie has even admitted that just working with you is like it's not only a sustainable like that income he probably gets with you would be sustainable for most people if that's the only thing they did, right?
Yeah, and I stand behind that because Boosie has consistently brought in numbers. Now keep in mind that when you look at the Boosies of the world or all my other big regular guests, they usually started out doing free interviews.
Yeah.
And consistently kept bringing in numbers. And then at one point I was like, hey, listen, I want to have you on here not every so often when you're on a promo run, but I want you on here all the time. So let's work out something where get paid as well.
This is why I'm blaming you. Let me explain.
Let's go.
So
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, but I think the initial thing, because I bet this is what he's about to say, the initial day that Boosie explained how much he got paid, that put it in people's mind. The way I'm doing an interview is if I get a check, when that used to not really be the case. And it's fucking with the budget, like how many people they can keep around if we be at 100. But at the same time, it's like, that wasn't really a thing until a Vlad interview explained it, and he didn't explain it in enough detail to make sense. I've been on Vlad for this many episodes for free. At one point in time, me and Vlad discussed that there was some value in us doing this together. Vlad started paying me. He didn't say that. He just said, hey, do the Vlad, I'll be on. So the other motherfucker was like, well, damn, you pay.
Originally, the
interview really shouldn't
was seen as a way to promote whatever that person wanted to promote. It was like a what's it called? Pro quid. Yeah. Okay, and it was basically like, okay, there's an inherent benefit for both of us, and that was the thing for many artists that were in.
Which is crazy because once streaming came around, it started being like, I deserve some of your platform too because of who I am. It's like, nigga, no, you make music. Let me do my version. Let me be my version of the rapper. I'm a YouTuber. Nigga, you make music. Just let me have my version.
The thing that like the Breakfast Club is paying for interview. No, like your label is gonna send them up there, and it's gonna benefit them in promotion. and it's going to benefit Breakfast Club for content.
Well, slow down for a second.
And then, but Breakfast
down
Club
for a
is
second.
also a different place because they have to go off a real journalism law. So the Breakfast Club isn't actually allowed to pay nobody. I mean, I think they can come up with little like bullshit excuses to pay people. Like, I was really paying them for licensing. I think they said that somebody did that with Octomom, paying for licenses on the video, different things like that. But due to anybody with real journaling ties, they can't. They're not allowed to accept money to do the video.
When it comes to radio, there are things that are happening behind the scenes.
Okay,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like, okay,
there's
look,
some deals too.
Yeah. Look, so let's just keep it 100 because this is where the radio people, like the Breakfast Club, have a certain advantage. You know, because when you're under the iHeart umbrella, there are deals being made behind the scenes of like, listen,
We'll spin your record 20 times.
this is our biggest show. Send your artist to do this show, and we'll get this record played on all of our stations across the country.
Yeah, fair enough.
There may not be any writing behind it, but
Yeah.
there's an
You're right about
understanding behind it. So they are getting
It's a
paid in a
shake
certain
hand
type
deal.
of way. It's just not a cash transaction.
it. Okay.
Am I right?
No, you're on
Yeah,
the
you're
right.
right.
Exactly.
But it still doesn't deter me from my point. And again, I'm blaming Vlad for this. This is how
The
it
Venture
fucked the
8.
game up. Because okay, yes, there's this exchange, whether explicitly or implicitly. But here's what happens once people heard, "Oh, Vlad is giving a check." Now people start to think
what I
of
said?
the interview as a
Watch.
business. Except, you see, with radio or, for example, Marlon Wayne's, if he's thinking about, oh, they need you to go do a film, he could clearly, him and his agent could clearly figure out revenues.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know, this much of my time.
this is probably gonna gross 10 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should get paid X, and X.
Yeah. One.
Which I generally get. He feel as though his time is worth a certain amount of time. I seen like people, you know what I'm saying, if they don't want you to go to work or something, they'll be like, well, how much they gonna pay you for the day? I'll just give you how much they gonna pay you for the day. That way you can come kick it with me. Like people do that. Does it usually happen to girls? Yes, but people do that. So what I mean by that though is Marlon Wayans is probably gonna look at, like he said, look at his time, equivalent the time, say this is how much the time is worth. But I think the production of media should matter too. This film is grossing about yay this amount of money. This is the percent that you should get. We don't even know the amount that you were gonna get. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know. I think you should just ask for the 30% and just move from there. You don't gotta give me my initial pay. Let me get like the 30% is still crazy. That's a huge ass chunk of it. But you know what I'm saying? Let me get matter of fact, because he asked for 40K. I'm not saying for him, but a realistic ask for somebody that's high up, knowing that this is a YouTube video and you don't even know what you're gonna get for it. I think you should be like, let me get 5 to 15K depending on who you are, right? And then you should really go from 2% to about 20% tops on the video. Because after that, it's like you fucking up your connection with me, and then look at him. He got all this. He cool with all these other YouTubers, and ain't nobody else gonna tell Marlon Wayans no, because it's Marlon Wayans. But somebody else is gonna get short stopped. Like, nigga, we ain't paying you nothing.
So let's say
Exactly,
yeah.
right? It makes sense to them. They don't know, and this is the thing about YouTube interviews. They don't really realize that you're not getting paid via your cachet. You know, these guys get paid via their star power.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Marlon Wayans. When I walk in the room, my agent knows I demand this.
Right.
No, that doesn't help you at all.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it really comes down to your history. If you had done other interviews, it comes down to the history. And what I had pointed out during some of our conversations, and even publicly, was that when you look at all his recent interviews, they make between 100,000 to 300,000 views. It's not dollars, it's views.
Yeah.
Which
so
is...
it wouldn't really evaluate because like 1 million views is like $1,000. So I'm already giving you more with the assumption that there's a chance that over time that I'll get my money back, and I get to say I have a Marlon Wayans interview. You know what I'm saying?
maybe a couple $1,000s at best. You know what I mean? you look at a Boosie, he consistently brings in like 5 million, 7 million. Like, this is where the bigger numbers come in. But, you know, like, for example,
we need to cut him
me
something.
and Marlon
I get
Wayne
it.
did the Breakfast Club around 9 months ago, about 1 month apart. He did like 300,000 views. I did like 800,000. You know, I did like more than double his views. So I understand what it is. And, you know.
Yeah.
And
so he's saying, as far as, and I'm going to stop it right there. You need to watch the rest on DJ Vlad's channel. But what he's saying is the value of you as far as YouTube goes isn't as high as the value of you as far as movies and stuff go. So equivalating it to a YouTuber is a little bit different. Like I said though, I'm pretty sure it's just a black thing. Like it's just like I'm not gonna go onto your platform and give you this. You know what I'm saying? I just won't. I think that's more what it is. I'm sure he'll be on another podcast explaining why he wasn't fucking with it. I'm 100% sure. But go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Continue to fuck with me. Holler at me. Bye.